William. If it
Talk
isn't
to me.
my sweet William,
Talk to me.
man, we are getting dangerously close to the NFL draft.
Sure are.
Dangerously close.
I'm
Real
starting to
question. Real
talk
question
to me.
for you.
Talk to me.
What do you think's going on with Cam Sutton? You think they're going to find him?
Who?
No, let's be real. Let's be real.
I'm being real too. I'm now. I was on the emotional roller coaster at first with like, what's going on with them? Uh, you know, what does this mean for the Detroit Lions? When it first happened, I was on that. I was on that roller coaster. Now it's like, hey, I just hope the dude's okay. Like I don't want him to be, you know, RIP or nothing. But other than that, he's not a Lion anymore. Yeah, whatever. I've moved on.
I heard, and I don't know if it's true, that his license plate was tagged going through like a toll road or something
I saw that too.
a couple days ago. So I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on with Cam Sutton. It's a delicate situation. We got to be a little careful. But the longer this goes on, I think the less likely it is that this situation ends well.
I don't know, man. I did see uh a little clip it or a snippet that someone had sent me talking about it, and it was talking about the dude from Woodward. He was talking about how the police believe that they know where he is. They're just not trying to kick in doors and make it a big, huge to do, and they're wanting him to turn himself in. But they're not at this point. They're not concerned about like a suicide or something like that. So I'm just taking that for being what it is. But I'm not putting any much or too much thought in it. Other than that, it's for me. It's just thinking about what these Detroit Lions are going to be doing moving forward. Like I said, hope the guy's okay. Hope everybody is okay from the situation. Hope it all works out like it's supposed to. For whatever happens, we still don't know what the details are of the situation. But for me, I've moved on to what's going on with my Detroit Lions.
Man, I hope the police have that same kind of energy if I'm ever a wanted man and they don't want to come looking for me kicking in some doors because
Right?
I can hunker down for quite a while.
Yeah.
I'm capable of living with what I have for a sustained period of time.
You got that bunker. You got that bunker room, that safe room set up.
Yeah, I mean, a couple bottles of water, some ramen noodles, and some chocolate milk is all I need, right?
I don't act like you don't have like spaghettios, and I already know.
Listen, I can survive off of one MRE for 6 months, no problem.
Yeah, time out.
Not even an issue.
Yeah, because you don't need to go to the bathroom after you eat one. So
That's true because I'll be backed up for the next 2 weeks.
yeah.
Um, have you also heard about this? I did an episode on it today, but you weren't available. This Max Crosby kind of like people wanting him to come to Detroit too because some stuff he said on a podcast as well.
Yeah, I just think that it was kind of taken out of context, and I feel like I don't want to give too much away because for those that didn't watch the episode, I feel like you hit it right on. But I'll just say this: I think that the comments are being taken out of
Yeah,
context, and as they always are, though. It's always if somebody says, "Hey, my favorite color is blue." Hey, he wants to be a Detroit Lion.
that's
Guys, Brad, pick the phone up. Like he said, his favorite. Hey, if his favorite color is blue, it's got to be
It's
Honolulu
got
blue.
yeah. There's only one shade of blue:
Uh,
Amazing blue, Honolulu blue. Like
what
what
are we
color blue
talking
are we
about?
talking?
Yeah, Brad, call him. So I think it was just one of those things that were taken out of context, man. If we were gonna have him, he would be here.
Yeah, I think anytime someone becomes disgruntled, and I don't want to tip our head too much, disgruntled or a free agent or there's trade rumors, it's always got to be a Detroit Lion. He's got to be a Detroit Lion. Like guys, it's got to fit. It's got to fit the Detroit Lions. Like let's say Dak Prescott became available. Does he have to be a Detroit Lion? Is he an upgrade over Jared Goff? Probably not. We just gotta hit the brakes. I think fans just get a little too excited, but
Yeah.
you know what else is going on in the Lions world? Or just the
So
sports world. We're just kind of on here shooting the shit, seeing what's going on.
the biggest thing is that draft, man. That draft. Um, what was that? J Rod. Would love to have Max Crosby, but that dream, yeah. Bring Sauce as well. Yeah. Let's get Crosby and Sauce. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. I
Pat
love it.
Mahomes. I heard Pat Mahomes might be available too.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not, man? Why not? Bring Calvin back too. Calvin looks good.
We don't need Calvin. We got Tom Kennedy, man. We already talked about this.
I mean, we got to give Tom Kennedy something to compete with at practice.
There is no competition for Tom Kennedy. That's blasphemous. So for those who are watching, hit that like button for us. Helps us out a whole lot. Also, you want to tell the people what we are now officially offering on our Detroit Den page?
Memberships, baby, memberships. So, we're kind of going in a direction to where some of the giveaways that we do, we've had some good ones. We've had some jerseys, but we want to give away some more things, and we want to give away some more expensive things or some choosier things like helmets or maybe signed jerseys or maybe some of that stuff to our members. So if you moving forward, we'll give you the deeds on it, but becoming a member will give you an opportunity to tickets, game tickets, all that type of stuff.
Bobbleheads, a lot of stuff that they give away at the Lions game that a lot of people can't get their hands on. If you're from out of state or you don't have season tickets, you don't get some of those giveaways. We have a way of getting extra. We'd like to give that stuff away. So we are offering memberships on our YouTube channel. We're not like other YouTube channels who offer memberships and we don't try to give something back to you guys. So there's 3 tiers to the membership. The highest tier is called Down with the Den. If you're down with the Den, that enters you into any giveaway we're doing 3 times. If you're in the second tier, 2 entries. First tier, 1 entry. So you guys can kind of pick and choose. Your support is always great. It's not required. It's just an idea, just an option for us to give some stuff back to the people who have been supporting us, and it's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, man.
Have you heard anything on contract extensions? St. Brown details are supposed to come out around the combine, but nothing. Haven't heard anything on Goff in a while. St. Brown, I haven't heard anything in a couple of weeks. It's been kind of quiet on that front.
All I've heard was that they've tentatively agreed upon somewhere around 26 to 28, which is crazy.
That's a truckload of money.
That's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money. So I'm interested to see what that contract looks like. Is it front loaded, back loaded? Is it 4 years? Is it like what? I'm just interested because that's a lot of money, man.
Jared Goff contract. What do you think about that? We kind of hinted on that with our episode the other day where we talked Hendon Hooker, Jared Goff. We both kind of on the same page of I don't think anything's going to happen with Goff until they get a shot to look at Hendon Hooker. Preseason is going to be his time to shine. It's a small window. He's only going to get 3 games and some simulated practices. But after that, I don't want to see Hendon Hooker unless he's just blowing it up. So I don't know. I don't think we're going to hear anything about Goff anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the Lions talk about how much they love Jared Goff and how Jared Goff is our guy. Brad says that. Dan says that. So I'm interested to see when we sign him. Will we be signing him, prior to our first game, or will we go into the season without a Jared Goff contract? Interested to see. If you were, I was just gonna say. I think you're about to answer it, but I'm gonna say if you were betting, which way would you go? Do we start week 1 without a Jared Goff contract, or will he be signed by week 1?
I don't think he'll be signed by week 1. I think this will probably go into next offseason.
I don't know that it'll go in the next offseason, but I also don't believe that he'll sign by week 1 unless he signs a very team-friendly deal.
I just don't think they want to go into the season. Most players usually shut it down right when the season starts. They don't want that distraction hanging over their head. Once football starts, it's full football. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if something gets done, but I'm with you 100% on wanting to see Hendon Hooker before we fully commit to Jared Goff. I think we need to at least from a business standpoint, a team standpoint, get a look and see what we got waiting in the wings.
I'll tell you what, if Hendon Hooker is good, I can't wait for next offseason because now I think you'll see a different Brad Holmes because they'll have a lot of money. He'll have a lot of money to play with. And I know that we'll be coming up on a couple of years and we'll have to obviously pay Hendon, but hey, he'll have a lot of money to play with for those 2 seasons. And it could be interesting. Maybe we could be like those Philadelphia Eagles that just sign as many people as we want.
15 players under $20 million contract somehow. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. I wish we were playing with that salary cap that they're playing with, but there's a potential. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm ready for the draft. I know that. I'm counting down the days. I'm ready to go. Draft's kind of our time. I'm ready to get up there. Hopefully my Airbnb isn't a trap house. I'm kind of concerned about that.
You might want to drive by. You might want to drive by first, man.
Drive-bys is what I'm worried about.
That's what I'm saying. You might want to go take a look at that now, just in case you got to make other arrangements.
I might have to take a trip up there tomorrow, just kind of do a little scouting, check it out, make sure it's all safe.
Yes, sir.
There's no homeless people outside sleeping on the front yard.
Quick question. Would y'all trade the first 3 picks for? Well, I definitely wouldn't do it for Lattimore, and I also wouldn't do it for Max Crosby. I'm assuming that he means trading round 1, 2, and 3 for Max. There's no way that I would do that because at the end of the day, you still got to pay him.
Yeah,
So,
that's 2 contracts you're taking onto your books as well.
yeah.
That's probably, I know, I just looked at Max's today. I got my notes right here actually from it. Max's contract after this year is $24 million. $24 million. I think Marshawn Lattimore's is 16. So you're looking at $40 million in contracts you're taking on, as well as we just kind of talked about Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's probably another 70 between the two. Then you want to talk about, going down the road with Aleem McNeil, not in the not too distant future. We got Penei Sewell, Aiden Hutchinson coming up. So no, as much as I listen, Max Crosby is in a league of his own. He is one of the top 3 pure defensive ends in this league, and that's fantastic. I love to cheer for him when he's not playing Detroit, but he's doing just fine out there in Las Vegas, and I think that's where he needs to stay. As much as I'd love to have him, it's just too much to give up and then too much to pay.
Yeah, I think that he's enjoying himself out there in Vegas. So, yeah, I don't foresee that being a thing.
Talk about Big Ten championship hockey. Russ, should you be a little bit more focused on that Michigan State basketball team today? They got a big game coming up with the North Carolina Tar Heels. I'd be a little bit more focused on that one. I know Big Ten championships are kind of a foreign thing in East Lansing, so everyone's a little excited. You guys don't really know what to do with a championship game. It's been a little while, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh, I like
Braswell,
this one.
That one's for
Chris
you.
Braswell. Yeah. I was just about to say, hey, get back 22. Chris Braswell is my guy, man. I love him. I think that he'd be a great value pick, especially if we can get him in the second round. It's if we can go get a pick of choice at 29 and then still come back and get him at 61 somehow, or move up in that second round to go get him, I'd be all for it. I don't know that he'd be my pick at pick 29, but in the second round, if he's there, it would be a no-brainer for me. I love his game, and I think he's underrated.
You like him in the second round?
I like Chris Braswell in the second round. I don't think that he'll be there at 61, but I would love to have him. I would love to see us trade up and go get him.
I'm trying to do a little research here for you, J-Rod. Do either of you know much about Marshawn Lattimore's contract? I'll put it up here so we can all see it.
Yeah, I've actually looked at it.
I'm actually looking at it right now, and sometimes these are a little hard to see. So I'm looking at Marshawn Lattimore's contract. His cap hit for 2024 is 14.6, and then next year it jumps up to 31. Yeah. He's got a lot of bonuses coming his way. And I don't get how bonuses affect your salary cap. That's kind of weird to me. I'm still trying to learn that, figure that out, because some people have it, some people don't. I mean, you get these roster bonuses, club options, that kind of stuff. So his cap hit for 2024 is 14.6 million. 2025, his cap hit is 31.4.
Yeah, it's all about that guaranteed money.
Yeah.
But it's all about that guaranteed money. So at the end of the day, if we don't have a contract breakdown officially, we're not going to know for sure, but they can break down that signing bonus over the life of the contract. So if you have a 5-year contract, they can take that. If you have a signing bonus of 50 million and you're one of these quarterbacks, they can break that up over the life of the contract and pay you like that. So it's like a little bit easier to deal with, throughout a season. Maybe they give you a chunk instead of having to give you 50 million over one season, you know what I mean? And that cap hit be huge. And then those roster bonuses are a little bit different too. So a lot of them you don't get that money if you're not on a roster, obviously. So you can evade that money by cutting a guy prior to, a June 1st, or I think somebody else had one that was a March one. So it's just so many ways that they can nickel and dime these contracts. And players can too, the opposite direction. So, hey, they can kind of force guys to make a decision early. So, hey, if I'm getting this roster bonus, you need to decide whether or not you're going to keep me around or not. Otherwise, even if you do release me on the back end of this thing, I'm going to get an extra 5, 6, 7, 10 million, whatever the roster bonus is. So,
I'm going to put this comment out because we're going to talk about this. Brad doesn't spend big. He's the best GM ever. Listen, Brad Holmes, for some reason, some ungodly reason, was catching some flack, a lot of heat this offseason. If you follow some Twitter stuff, Some other content creators who weren't very happy with some of the stuff Brad Holmes did by not signing those big name guys have caught some heat. But we personally here at Detroit Den, we support everything's Brad. I don't think I have two little things that, Will, you know what they are. Two little things that Brad Holmes has done. But the big picture, Brad Holmes is the best GM the Detroit Lions have ever had. It's not even close. It's not even close. He's not going to go out and sign a Daniil Hunter, as fun as they are to talk about, as fun as they are to picture on this team. That just wasn't in the cards. We kind of had a pipe dream, but realistically, we knew that's probably not the way we're going to go.
Hey, I like Polar Bear here. He said his boss needs to give him a roster bonus. I ain't mad at it.
Listen, I go back to work Monday. The first thing I'm asking for is 1, a raise, 2, a signing bonus. Like I need, you guys got me here. You gotta start paying me.
Yeah. What if they make Branch a full-time slot? I think that's exactly what's about to happen. I think Amik right now, he's our number 2 corner. He has to be. And Branch is going to continue to do what he's been doing, or do we bring Iffy down in that box and let him cover too? Because Iffy Melifonwu, people forget that he was drafted as a corner.
So big corner. Was he like 6'3"?
Yeah, he's a big guy, man. So he's a guy that also has some coverage skills. So maybe he's a guy that you can play in that slot position. Who knows? Possibilities are endless, man. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Real quick, just because our watchers have doubled within like the next 5 minutes, we'll talk about it again real quick, and then I'm going to be done with it. I'm not wanting you guys to feel like you have to, but Detroit Den, we are now offering memberships. Our memberships come with some special privileges on top of everything you'll see underneath that tab. We will be doing giveaways. If you follow us on Twitter, you see we do a lot of jersey giveaways. I think we've done like 5 or 6 jersey giveaways. We've given away some rare Aiden Hutchinson bobbleheads, some other memorabilia. We're going to offer that. We're going to give our members the best chances to win instead of just people on Twitter. So if that's something you guys are interested in, check it out. We are taking memberships. Last time I'm mentioning it, it's not required, not obligated, just kind of throwing it out there for you guys. But let's get to some more questions.
I like what David Cornwell said. He said that Brad will never spend big in free agency. He likes to build through the draft and pay his own players. I get that. I agree with it to a certain degree, but I think it's all about how much money you have and the opportunity. So again, and not saying that this is going to happen before you guys hammer me, but if we get into a situation where we do have a quarterback on a rookie deal and we have more money to play with, I think then we'd be more liable to bring in a guy on a higher paying contract. But while we have to allocate this money in a way that makes sense, and we got a quarterback that's probably going to get close to $50 million, if not $50 million, then you do have to do things that are a little bit more frugal, a little bit more economic. So it wouldn't make sense for us to be bringing in guys at $20 million when we can go get guys and get multiple guys. Steve, you talked about it before, how we got Amik and we got DJ Reader, guys that are probably both going to be starters, and we got them for less than we would have paid for a Daniil Hunter. So we just got to do it in ways that make sense. When you got a quarterback that's costing you $50 million, you got a receiver that's costing you darn near $30 million. Like you got Aiden Hutchinson and P.N.A. Sewells who are going to reset the market potentially when they come up for their contracts. You just got to do it in ways that make sense.
Real quick, J-Rod, Jared, as you say, appreciate it. Much appreciate. You are officially the first member to join the Detroit Den. The very first. So you get to wear that title for the rest of your life. You get to say, I was the very first member of Detroit Den 313. Much appreciated.
Hey, quietly, Jared, reach out to us on Twitter with your information. We might do a little something for you, man.
We might have a gift card or something laying around.
Yeah,
we might, you help us. You scratch our back, we scratch yours. We don't want to just have members. We want to support the people who support us first and foremost. Also, I got to bring this one up. Well, I have to. I know you see it, and I got to bring it up.
I didn't see it. What happened?
You see it. You see it. Real quick. Big fat winner. I see what you did there with your name. Also much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you very much. You are second. Second place, that's silver. Nothing wrong with silver.
No doubt. On the podium.
This one. Why do people like Syndicate thinks that's a problem? Hey, Donovan, we didn't say any names, buddy. We didn't. Yep. If you know who we're talking about, you know who we're talking about. That's all I'm going to say. I got to be careful. I'm not trying to get into like a Twitter beef or a Twitter war or something like that, because
I'm just focused on us, man. We just we got to keep putting out this good content, man, and doing the best that we can.
Yeah, we've been doing very well lately. I will say that and I think Donovan, you might have asked the other day if when we were live if we watched other podcasts, If that wasn't you, I might be mistaken, but I do remember someone our last live show the other day was asking about if we watched other podcasts. And I think we both said we used to, but since we started taking this to another level and becoming more consistent and more reliable with what we talk about, we've stepped away from watching other Detroit Lions podcasts. For the main reason for me is I said something one time and someone said that I stole their content, which was not true at all. I might watch an episode here or there if someone tags me or mentions it and says that I need to check it out. But the only content that I really watch is I watch the morning show on the Ticket for John Jansen. Like I said, I'll say it again. Coming from the 90s, playing in college football at the University of Michigan, that time frame was when I started really getting into football. I was about 8 years old then. Started really getting into that. Him being a professional in the NFL, John Jansen's opinion, it probably weighs more than anyone else's opinion in this town, in the Detroit media. So I do pay attention to what he says. And that's about it.
Yeah. Steve, I got a little something for you, man, that it kind of flows into this question that Polar Bear posted. He said, don't forget about Houston. And then he goes on to talk about bets. But here's just a question for you. And I'll answer it too, coming back at me. Are you more excited about James Houston coming into this 2024 season, or getting a look at bets from Canada?
Is a colonoscopy like the third option? Is that something that I could choose over either one of those two?
Come on, man.
A vasectomy with no painkillers. Like, is there other options?
Come on.
I guess if I had to pick between the two, it's going to be James Houston, because I think he's making the team first and foremost. I hope that he can duplicate what he did at the end of his rookie year, where he had like 8 sacks in 8 games. I hope that's the James Houston we see. I know you're on the same page, and we've kind of got hammered about this before, about it's hard to repeat that type of production. He was a late round pick. He doesn't have a ton of pass rush moves. He's kind of a one-trick pony. He's not good in coverage. When he's on the field, you know what the Detroit Lions are going to be doing. There's no disguising it. You know he's in there to rush the passer. If he's not rushing the passer and he's in coverage, it's a liability. Bets, I get it. He had like 55 sacks or whatever in the CFL. It's really hard to turn into that Kurt Warner story from the CFL like a lot of people are thinking he's going to be. I personally see Matthew Betts being a camp cut.
I think Betts is going to make the team. And after I thought it was a little bit gimmicky when we first signed him. And a couple of people sent his information to me, and I was like, he's a guy we're going to try to get a look at. He's going to be a camp guy, a camp body. The more I dug into his story, the more I found out that he was a guy who got offered money from other teams. He got offered guaranteed money from other teams. And he decided to come with the Lions, where he's going to have to fight for everything that he gets. When I watch his film, I love his technique. I love his tenacity, and I love how he plays the game smart. Like some of the sacks he gets by being smart, manipulating that tackle, manipulating the quarterback, rushing up the field and spinning back as the quarterback steps up into the pocket. I just like his game. I think he's a little bit older, a little bit more polished as far as, like I said, from a technique standpoint, from a snap standpoint. And I think he's going to make this team, man. I'm looking forward to seeing him get out there. I'm not here to say that he's going to be a starter, but if I'm asking the upside between the two of them right now as it stands, I really didn't like what I saw from James Houston last season. And I really liked what I saw from Betts from a technique standpoint, not just the opposition that he was going against. So hot take, I think Betts is going to make this team. I'm more excited to see what he can get. I'm more excited to see what he can do.
We might have to make a gentleman's bet on that one.
I like it.
We might have to, I don't know, maybe a little surf and turf dinner.
Ooh, going big.
Put a link to your membership in the chat. Donovan, that's a work in progress. To get to it, you have to actually go to our page. I think you can only do it on a computer right now. It is a work in progress. We're working on it.
Russ,
you know,
you, baby.
Russ, you're gonna get a little love, buddy. You appreciate that. And I'll tell you what, Russ, because you became a member, I will say go green, go white. Yeah, tonight and tonight only. I would suggest you clip this video and make a so you can have that in your back pocket for future, because I will not say it again.
Donkey Kong, I seen you ask how old Betts is. He's 29 years old.
Just turned 29 yesterday. Yesterday was his birthday, March 22nd, 95. J-Rod, I see you. Yeah, I don't say go green, go white too often, but my wife texted it to me. She's a Michigan State fan. It's brutal, divided household here. And I don't know. Sometimes she's pretty laid back as a Sparty fan. So, I mean, kind of have to be laid back when football team did what they did last year.
Steve, can I tell you something?
You could tell me anything.
I'm a little hesitant because of how adamant I've been. Chris Time, what's up, baby? About how adamant I've been about this guy not loving him. But he's starting to grow on me like a fungus. So get ready for it. And that is none other than Darius Robinson, man.
No, don't.
I'm not saying that
don't
he's
the
pick.
Dare.
I'm not saying he's a pick, but here's kind of my thought process. And I will say I was just watching film because I seen him picked us in so many mock drafts. So I was watching some stuff on him and Latu the other day. And I was just thinking to myself, if Marcus Davenport can offer a pass rush for us and Darius Robinson can be our down in and down out defensive end, would I like it more? And would it be a way for me not to be so hell-bent on Davenport having more games played this year? Would it take a lot of pressure off of that pickup, that free agent signing? And I was just thinking to myself, like, man, that might make me like it. If he's a guy that can pin his ears back and rush, and he's also a guy that can play solid defensive end snaps too, here and there. So you don't know exactly what we're doing when we put him on the field. But I like the ability to bring in a guy who can play inside and outside a little bit more, a younger guy. So maybe we can move on from a Pascal or a Kaminsky, in a couple of seasons. Would I like it more? It's starting to grow on me. It's still not 100% the sexy pick that I would love, but it's starting to grow on me a little bit more. So my question for you and my question for everybody watching, how do you feel about Darius Robinson? Steve, how do you feel about him? And would you be okay with the Lions selecting him at pick 29?
I kind of have to be, don't I? I don't really have a choice.
You don't got to like it.
I like him as a D end. I will say this. I think you've been a little hard on him as a defensive end. And you say that him and Kaminsky and Pascal all do the same thing. And I think they do. But when it comes to a pass rush, I think Darius Robinson's better. It's not elite. It's not like I've seen people comparing him to JJ Watt. I definitely don't see that. But I do think it's better as a pass rusher. I don't know. I've watched his tape. I've watched his highlights. It doesn't wow me as much as a lot of other players. Now, when I turn on Braden Fisk's highlights, it stands out. It pops. Yeah. Like, oh, yeah. Like his tape and his combine, if you put them together, you can see why he's the type of player he is. His tape sticks out. He looked good in all the workouts. When I watch Darius Robinson, I just don't have that same feeling. I just don't see the same explosion. I don't see the same disruptiveness. I think Darius Robinson could be okay, but Steve, I'm not in love with them.
My only thing with that is Darius Robinson is 300 pounds. He's a 285. He's 285 pounds, man.
Well, he's not 300 pounds.
Yeah, he's and that's like, you got to remember, that's his weight getting ready for the combine and trying to run fast. He's not. I would be surprised if he stays that size. So I don't know. Nealon?
Is that the kid from
Western Michigan? Yeah. First round pick. I couldn't see that. Necessarily. Not a surprise first rounder. But I do like him. I do like him a lot.
Yeah, I don't know about first rounder, but I also like him a lot. Round 2, I would be more comfortable with that player.
But yeah, Darius Robinson, man, he's just growing on me. I don't love it yet, but it's something. His versatility is really what's growing on me. So it's he doesn't have to come off the field. And is he a guy that can make our front huge? Right? Because now we're looking at a world to where we got Aiden Hutchinson out there, we got Aleem out there, we got DJ Reader out there, and then Robinson is at the other defensive end spot. Just a mammoth of a man for a DN. Excuse me. So I don't know.
Here's a question. Chris Spielman is my favorite player. Who's your favorite Detroit Lion of all time, William?
Barry Sanders in the
Yeah, that's
conversation.
come on, that's an easy one. That's a layup.
So what are we at? What are we talking about?
That's a layup.
It's not even a comparison.
Listen, I remember seeing Barry Sanders play like I think one game at the Silverdome. So I was only like 7, 8, 9 years old. It's not like I could just, jump in my truck and drive up to Detroit. Like someone had to physically take me there. For me, it's got to be Megatron. Just because I watched him more. I'm not saying Barry's not the greatest Lion of all time, but me personally, I watched Kelvin Johnson play every single game of his career. And I remember a game me and my buddy went to. They played the Cincinnati Bengals. I can't remember which year it was. If you guys are at that game, let us know. Megatron caught a ball over 3 defenders on the far end zone. And I said, there's no way he caught that ball. Sure as shit, he caught it over 3 guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. And there's actually a couple of them though, but that one is one that they got still shots of, and it just looks like it looks inappropriate. Like if any of those defenders' mothers ever seen that photo, they probably just shun their son from the family, just completely disowned them, just backs turned when they walk into rooms. Just
do what the old Native Americans did and send them out to a different camp because you've shamed the family so much.
You've shamed the family. Just get out of here, scram. Yeah, 100%. Russ Herman Moore. Okay. All right. Next to Barry, there's a lot. Schlesinger. Ooh, Corey Schlesinger. I dig it. Luther.
He's still a pro bodybuilder. Is that what Corey was doing? Wasn't he a pro bodybuilder for a minute?
Corey Schlesinger?
Yeah.
I thought
he was a power lifter or something.
There's a high school gym teacher.
I must be thinking of someone else. I could have swore I saw something about Corey Schlesinger as like a pro bodybuilder or a power lifter or something.
Yeah, I ran into Corey Schlesinger some years ago. He was doing something with school.
Did you get out of the way down the hallway when he was walking?
Yeah, he was a big guy, but super humble dude, man. Super humble, super chill. Yeah, like super nice guy. Gentle giant. Not really a giant. Not that tall. He's probably wider than he is tall, but
yeah. Silver Surfer. Hey, Barry Sanders is the GOAT. No doubt about it. Number 1 Detroit Lion of all time. But like I said, I was very, very young during those days. So I just got to watch Kelvin a little more. Trust me, I've seen all Barry's tape, his highlights. Oh, I tried to meet him when we went to the Bye Bye Barry premiere this past, November. He was in the alleyway we were walking up, but he had so much security with him, you could not get close. So we tried, didn't work out.
I see Tyler was asking, where do you think Blake Corum will go? Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, you think so? Oh, don't do that.
As much as I hate that.
Yeah.
As much as I hate it, I think he's going to the Cowboys. I'm only mentioning it because he's a Michigan guy.
And they have drafted a lot of Michigan players over the last few years too. But they draft Taco Charlton, Jordan Lewis,
Mozzie Smith,
Jordan
Lewis.
All right, I said him. Didn't they get Schoonmaker? Isn't Schoonmaker with the Cowboys as well?
I don't know. I can't remember. Sounds right, but I don't know for sure.
I feel like I only know that because I have a buddy. Yeah, he's with the Cowboys, Luke Schoonmaker, who's a Cowboys fan from my Army days, and he texted me and asked me about Luke Schoonmaker and Mozzie Smith.
Yeah. I hope not. Tyler, me too. I hope not too, man. I hope not too.
Maybe the Titans, that they kind of need a running back too.
I really like Tajay Spears. I'm not gonna lie, and they got.
Then they signed Tony Pollard. Yeah, but I don't know. They got little running backs. Like those guys aren't.
What's Blake Corum?
Well, he's a bruiser who can get you a 3rd and 2. You can give him the ball. Tony Pollard couldn't run over my water bottle.
You're not wrong.
What are we doing?
It would be unfair. Fearfully confident. He said, imagine Barry Sanders behind our current offensive line. It would be absurd.
Well, this is true. This is very true. I didn't think about this, Russ. They do got that Jim Harbaugh connection now. What if Harbaugh just drafts all Wolverines?
I think.
What if he just goes out there, pick 5? Just because I fucking can, I'm taking JJ McCarthy. Just because I'm Jim fucking Harbaugh. Justin Herbert, you're gone. I'm going with JJ. That's my guy. Round 2, Blake Corum. Round 3, Junior Colson. Just Michigan kids, all the Chargers.
You might want to grab Zach Zenner at some point. That's all I'm saying.
What do you think the Chargers are doing?
I am just trying to get under the cap.
I mean, they get Jim Harbaugh, who's a good coach, regardless of how you feel about him. He's a damn good coach. They got a young quarterback, Justin Herbert. Probably a lot of people are very high on him still.
Yeah.
So what do they do when Jim Harbaugh gets there and gets a quarterback? They get rid of all of his weapons, literally. They get rid of Mike Williams. They trade Keenan Allen. Austin Eckler's gone. Are the Chargers just, this is where, I mean, Brock Bowers, it's got to be the pick at 5, though. Isn't that where they're picking 5, I think? That's kind of high for Brock Bowers, but you got to get a playmaker. I mean, there's still receivers you could get at 5, too. Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., one of those two should be available. But they have no one on offense.
Do we see Jeff Vergoven? What up, Jeff? Do we see Iffy out there on the field more than last year, given his play of last year? Yeah, for sure, man. He's definitely going to be on the field. I think that's one of the reasons why we weren't pressed about signing C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You know, like he's gonna be out there picking up that slack. And plus, I think Iffy is a guy who will be a lot stronger in the box. We like to play our secondary guys in the box as like an extra hybrid player, not a linebacker necessarily, but playing in the box like a linebacker, but can run with tight ends and slot receivers. So I definitely think that we're going to see a lot more Iffy. I think he'll probably break the starting lineup.
Real quick, Donovan Amos, much appreciated.
Appreciate it, Donovan.
Welcome to the Detroit Den family, third member. I also saw a question up here. I have a question for Chris Time. I see you're on vacation and still can't get enough Lions talk with my White Pride family. First of all, where are you on vacation at? I hope it's somewhere a lot nicer than Michigan, because it's been kind of doom and gloom around here the last few days.
Yeah.
I remember this past year being at Disney World and having to do a podcast from there, and my wife was not very happy with me, but she's got to understand when there's football going on, I got to talk it. It's got to happen. You got to give me 20 minutes to talk some Detroit Lions football, or I'm going to go insane.
Yeah.
I mean, we were in Disney World, and she wouldn't let me do it from the theme park.
Shut it down, huh?
Yeah, like, what? I mean, what are we doing here? I rethink my whole life.
Jason Hansen, all-time great Lion. I agree.
Dominican Republic, man. I want to go to the Dominican Republic. That's on my bucket list. Jason Hansen, all-time great Lion. Hey, as a kicker, yeah, Jason Hansen is an all-time great Lion.
Yeah. So what do you do? 20 years, 19 seasons or something crazy?
Yeah, long time. Good thing he retired when he did, because Dan Campbell wouldn't use him today.
He'd be the easiest job ever.
Just stand on the sidelines and collect a check. What more do I got to do?
I think pretty much any of us in the chat, or you and I could be the Lions kicker.
Yeah, I'll do it for a lot cheaper than what they're paying them too.
Just kick extra points. Chris Time. Ooh.
Don't bring your wife. Listen, yeah. William knows my wife. If you talk in Disney World and I don't take my wife there, I will be a bachelor immediately within probably 90 days or however long it takes the court to process those documents. That's
it said exactly to the day.
Yeah. You mentioned Disney World and my wife, and we're probably got a trip planned in the near future that I don't even know about.
Yeah. Stiggers. Yeah, I've checked him out. I like his game. I think he's underrated, and he's a lot bigger than I thought he was. I like him, man. I think I don't know how long he's gonna slide, but if we took him on the back end as a corner that could kind of be a sleeper, I would be down with it. Have you got an opportunity to look at Stiggers, CFL kid?
I have not yet.
He's
can't give an opinion. Don't have much information about him.
He's got some game, and I think he's one of those guys too that can play that positionless football. I think ultimately, say that our corners ended up working out with Amik and Davis, then he's a guy. If one of our safeties even went down, I think that we could convert him. Kind of like a Iffy Melifon will convert it from a cornerback position. I think that we got to have a lot of guys that can play, can mix and match playing in that secondary. So I think he will fall right into that.
Yeah, I'm going to let you answer this question. I put mine out there quite a bit. I'll give mine at the end. I'm not going to go too deep. Regardless of the value at the pick, what are your top 3 positional in the draft? I think you're asking what are the positions of need for the Detroit Lions, if I have that correct. So what do you think?
Edge, guard, and receiver, X-receiver.
In that order?
No, I would say I don't really have an order because it depends on who's going to be the most impactful. So at pick 29, it's all about those 3 positions of needs and who's going to be the most impactful. So are you looking at that person to be transcendent or just a huge impact right now at that position, or are they solid? Are they just going to be a starter? Are they going to be developmental? So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. But the biggest thing that I think that we both agree on is we both want an edge rusher if the price is, or if the pick is right. So if it's one of those guys that we love, i.e. Jared Verse, if it was somebody like that to get there, or for us at pick 29, it would be being more realistic. It would be Chop Robinson. If Chop Robinson was there at pick 29, he's somebody that I've kind of been falling in love with. So that'd be a guy that I would be looking at taking. If it was Verse, it would be trading up to go get him.
For me, in order: edge, wide receiver, and then cornerback / offensive lineman. I think we need to address the Cam Sutton stuff a little bit more depth there. I'd like to get another guard / tackle, someone who could probably play both, probably a tackle just in case. I think we're a little thin on the tackle spot. I think we can probably get by with guard if we lost one of those with Awasika. He played very well last year. If he can come in for 2 or 3 games, that's fine. So that's kind of my order. I'd love to have a receiver, but I think an edge, a starting defensive end, is more valuable to me than a 5th or 6th weapon for Jared Goff.
Yeah. Oh. I've been seeing a lot of this Cooper DeJean, man. I've seen him mocked to us in a couple of drafts. The only thing that I don't like about Cooper, I've mentioned it before in our one of our shows, recorded shows, was he doesn't seem to come up and play press man. He never did it at Iowa. I don't know if that's a lack of ability or they just didn't want to do it for some reason. That worries me a little bit. I truly think that he's going to be moved to safety. Don't hate the guy. I'm just watching the film and telling you what I see. But I absolutely love Cooper DeJean as an athlete. The dude can play, I think, anything. I watched him play basketball, and the dude's doing 360 dunks and hitting threes left and right. The guy can move amazing. He's got great hands. He's great in the return game. The dude's just a freak athlete. I think that he would make an impact. I just don't know how he fits with the Detroit Lions necessarily.
Donovan, what round do you think we should take an edge? I think we take Kool-Aid with the first pick. Look, I think we should take an edge round 1, but I really like Kool-Aid. I don't think he's going to get there at 29. I think the way he did it his pro day the other day, ran a 4.47, looks good in all the drills. I believe he had surgery on that foot yesterday too. Not that big of a deal, but with his tape and how he did it his pro day, I don't think he's going to be there at 29. I like Kool-Aid a lot. Would you agree, Will, that there's Nate Wiggins, Kenyon Mitchell, top 2 corners in the draft, and then it's kind of a huge cluster of that second tier guys?
I agree with that.
I mean, I'm not even ranking them in order, but probably those are the top 2. So then we got Terrion Arnold, Cooper DeJean, Kool-Aid McKinstry. Who else am I thinking of?
Max Melton.
I don't know about tier 2, but I really do like Max Melton. You know that.
I think you got to put Max Melton in that tier, but it seems like you love him or you hate him. But the dude, he comes from a professional football pedigree. His brother's playing for the Green Bay Packers. Both his parents were Division I athletes. The guy played like an absolute dog. He looked great at the Senior Bowl. He ran a 4.3. He's got the height and the weight. I just don't know how you don't put him with that first tier guys, man.
I wouldn't be disappointed. I wouldn't. I'm looking at guys I would draft at cornerback in the first round. I would not draft him in round 1. Max Melton, that is. Round 2, yes, absolutely.
That's the only 2 corners I'm drafting in the first round is Wiggins or Kenyon Mitchell.
Speak of the devil. Someone said the only player I would trade up for is Kenyon Mitchell. The only corner or the only player? Because there's a handful of players I would trade up for. Jared Verse is the number 1. Kenyon Mitchell's probably number 2. Dallas Turner, number 3.
I like TJ Tampa. I like him too, but I think he's in that second tier, guys. But I like him too.
I think Jared Verse is my number 1, but the Lions are a long shot. I think we're gonna have to make a move to go up and get him if that's the deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Talking about my man from Florida State. Yeah, he's tough, man. I like his game. I think he'll be there available later on in the draft, though. I don't think he's definitely not a guy I'm taking at 29.
Can't wait for the first round pick. Yeah, hey, we can't wait for the draft. What are we? We're like a month out, a little more.
Did you register yet?
Yeah, I don't. What is that all about? I registered on what was that app, like One Pass or something like that. I don't really know
Yeah, you got to register on one for you guys that don't know, man, because it was a little bit confusing. If you're going to the NFL draft, you have to get on the NFL site and register. You got to get your QR code. If you're taking your kids, you can register your kids on the same QR code as you. If it's just you registering as or if you're trying to register multiple adults, each adult has to register and you'll have a QR code. You save that. If you download the app One Pass, you can save it there so you don't have to worry about being able to pull it up when you and come back to it. If not, you can save it to your phone, but you risk the possibility of losing it, obviously, or whatever. So One Pass, make sure you register all adults with each of their own QR codes. And if you got kids, I think you can register up to 5 with each pass.
Also, I saw today, if you're a Detroit Lions season ticket holder, they sent out an email today that they're opening up Ford Field for like a watch party, and you can kind of come and go. So once you're in, you don't have to stay. I think it's like $25 if I'm not mistaken. Check your emails if you're season ticket holders. $25. You can go in there, watch the draft there. You're not locked in like they do other events where once you're in, you have to stay. I read that you could kind of come and go if you want to wander through downtown, go into the Ford Field, use the bathroom, go back out downtown. You can do all that too. And parking, someone asked about parking the other day. I will just say good luck. Good luck parking. It's going to be chaotic.
Yeah, it's going to be a nightmare, man. They're like I said before, I went to that meeting where they were talking about just basically the setup and how things were going to go for the NFL draft, and they're expecting at least 300,000 people, and it's going to be an absolute nightmare. They're blocking off streets, but they are going to put out, I believe it's on Visit Detroit. So as we get closer to the draft, check that out. They're going to post a map of what roads are going to be blocked off, areas where there's parking, and so on and so forth. So I know me and Steve's plan is to get down there super early. And
yeah, I'll be up there in the morning.
Yeah, just get parked, get set up. We're going to hand out some flyers. So if you see us out there handing out flyers, please come say hi. Love to talk to you guys. Love talking football. Love these Lions. Don't be shy.
What is your off the board first round pick?
Off the board, like unorthodox, because I think I gave mine in my mock draft and got killed for it already.
For the Lions, man, I don't know. Nothing's really gonna I guess the player could shock me, but if it's a position that I like, I'm gonna be okay with it. I can't put like a single player out there that I think is going to be off the wall. We've talked to so many guys. I mean, obviously there's guys that we think are going in the second round that'll probably go in the first round. We saw that last year with Jahmyr Gibbs. We kind of thought he was a second round player. Brad Holmes took him at 12. So I don't know. That surprised me more than anything.
What about Edgerrin Cooper, Steve?
That wouldn't be off the wall. I would do cartwheels around Detroit if it's Edgerrin Cooper.
I mean, I think that a lot of people don't think that we have a need at linebacker and don't expect us to take a linebacker. I think that would be a little bit off the wall or unorthodox.
Can he blitz and rush the passer?
He sure can.
Is he fast?
He's
Sign me up, baby. I'm all for it. If we draft Edgerrin Cooper, I will do cartwheels wherever I'm at. I will be ecstatic. He's on my radar. You put him on my radar. Braden Fisk is also very high on my list. Do we have an overwhelming need for D tackle? No, I would understand it. I think that would be kind of off the wall just because of how many defensive tackles we have. Broderick Martin, kind of, Levi Onwuzurike, maybe DJ Reader, Lee McNeil. But I think if we took Braden Fisk, you find a way to get him on the field. He pressures the quarterback.
Yeah.
So does that count as off the wall? I don't know, because I really like a lot of players, so it would take quite a lot to really surprise me.
Cartwheels in my line.
I want to know how many of you guys, if you're going to the draft, leave something in the comments, because I know.
Hey, yeah, if you're going to the draft, just put draft.
Yeah.
Comment draft if you're going to the draft, guys.
Nashville, the year it was in Nashville, there was 1 million people in Nashville. And you've seen the chaos leaving a Lions game with like 70,000 people. Multiply that by 4. That's how many people are going to be in Detroit with 2 major highways coming and going.
Steve, what about this?
I'm prepared for that. Are you going to be mad when Brad Holmes trades out of the first round? I will be a little disappointed as a fan because I'm up there. We're going to be in the crowd with the people. We're kind of hoping to see a Detroit Lion on night one, but from a football standpoint, it makes a lot of sense for Brad Holmes to move back and get another second-round pick, maybe another third-round pick,
maybe get a fourth-round pick,
maybe a future first, depending on how far back in the second we're sliding. I live in Green Bay and I'm going to the draft. I think the draft is in Green Bay next year. I'm looking forward to. We're gonna try to go to that.
All right. Oh.
Guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. We kind of only wanted to go live for about a half hour. Mainly, we wanted to tell you guys about our membership thing that we got going on. Members get access and better chances at winning some of our giveaways. So if that's something you're interested in, check it out. It's not required. It's much appreciated. You support us. We support you. So we're going to hop off here. We appreciate the questions. We appreciate you guys in the engagement. We like going live. We didn't want to do it for 50 minutes. We were just going to kind of shoot the shit for a half hour, but kind of got into it. No complaining. Had fun. We will be back. We are going to do some more live shows in the future to tell you guys what's going on, answer some questions, have a little interaction. So we're going to shut this down, guys. Thanks for watching. We will have an episode up maybe tonight, tomorrow morning. It's a good one. We're going to have to squash another rumor. That's all we're going to say. So stay tuned for that. Check it out. We'll be back later with some more content, guys.
Peace.